What is going on, everybody? Quancredible here with the review for Four Nights of Apocalypse Chapter 40. I can't believe we actually got 40 chapters already. It feels like this, like it really does feel like this manga is like kind of like flying by. But Chapter 40 is the fearsome attacker, so we do get to see the identity of the people that attacked Percival and his friends, as well as we do get like a lot more. Like I really love this chapter because it like progressed the plot a lot. So there's just a lot of good things here. So in the beginning of the chapter, we see like the bird that we had seen earlier, trying kind of just scoping out what was the damage and to see like what happened. And the bird just gets like clapped by some random arrow. I guess the arrow's not random. Sin does shoot it, so the familiar is just taken out. And Sin says he would have stepped in sooner, but he assumed that the familiar belonged to Gowther. And it's really funny because Sin knows that this is Gowther. Like he says like, oh, I like owe you one. And it's like, so like they have a familiar relationship. And I really feel like the other stuff that they're talking about, where it's like Sin was talking about, he would have been hesitant to go into the cave while Ard's magic is still around. I feel like this panel right here pretty much confirms it is not Bond. Like 100% this is not Bond, because Bond was in purgatory for like 1,000 years or something, or maybe a little bit over that. So Bond, like realistically, he wouldn't really be concerned about Ard's magic, since it would have took him over 1,000 minutes to turn him back into a child. So I definitely think, without a reasonable doubt, this is not Bond. Like confirmed, this isn't him. Maybe Lancelot, since he was worried. Whoever this character is, they definitely are relatively young. So it's looking more like Lancelot or a new character entirely, just based off of that information of him not wanting to go into the cave. So we can finally put all of the Bond theories to rest. From there, we have Gowther going like Gowther doing some crazy stuff here, where he's just like, he like touches the like spear and detects leftover brain waves on the spear, like that's a real thing.
This big brained.
And then he sets Percival down and launches his own counterattack. Like, and the people are like 10 miles away, or like 9.2 miles, but they're like 10 miles away essentially, and he's able to pinpoint them and fire back at them, which was hype to see. I was definitely like a big fan of that towards the end of Seven Deadly Sins, when they were having like their extremely long range fights with like King versus like the primordial demon. Like that kind of stuff was really cool to me. So to kind of see it on a smaller scale here was really dope. And then, of course, since Ard is dead, the magic does wear off, so they do revert to their original ages. I also think this is interesting because I remember seeing a theory, I can't remember who it was that showed it to me, where they were speculating that Nansen's could be a girl. And I guess it's kind of like deconfirms that, because this would have been the primo moment to bring it up or something. So I guess there isn't much stock in that one anymore. I was kind of feeling it, though, because Nansen's was like kind of drawn differently when they were talking about like his eyelashes are portrayed like a woman's eyelashes, but I guess he actually is confirmed male. I did like the panel of all of them together, just because I do really enjoy to see all four of them at the same time. And even the dynamic between Donnie and Annie is always like really funny to see. They have an understanding, but they really don't like each other all like that. Of course, they're really confused, wondering why where Art is and why they're all back to normal. And this is when Gowther steps in and says that he's going to explain everything. And then it switches over to another scene entirely, where we get to see our attackers. And honestly, I think the designs for these guys are really, really cool. I hope they're not like the weird fangs from like Seven Deadly Sins, because those guys were kind of whack. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the weird fangs were like kind of lame. Like in the beginning, they seem like maybe they might have been cooler if they didn't have to go up against Meliodas, who's like just way, way, way too powerful for them, but they just seemed kind of lame though. But these guys, their designs are dope, and they appear to be younger, since they're talking about how Ironside, Talisker, as well as Arberg were all older, and that they couldn't handle this kind of thing anymore, and that it was time for them to like step in. So I am really curious to see what the name of their group is and how they're going to like handle it going into the future. And while they're talking, this is when Gowther's attack does show back up, and it is aimed for the one guy, Tamdu or Tamadu, however you say his name. He was the one who threw the javelin, so it is aimed for him. He did try to intercept it, but of course it's Gowther's magic is so weird, so it doesn't do anything, and he gets hit with the brain jack, and then from there he proceeds to like throw a javelin straight through one of his teammates, which I was like blown away from. And it was crazy, because these Chaos Knights are ruthless, like, because his friend, or I guess not even his friend, his teammate just kills him to stop it, which I guess is probably the only realistic way that they were going to be able to stop this kind of magical attack, because there's not really a way to stop the brain jack, I guess, unless you like destroy what got taken over. And it was kind of weird here though, because when the main guy is talking about don't you dare underestimate them, and in this panel right here we got to see them all, the chick who got the javelin thrown through her is back. Like she's like fine. Like there's no hole in her. And I'm like, there was only one of her. Like she was the only one that looked exactly like that there, and she got like she I thought she died. Like she literally looked like she died. So I don't think this was an error. I definitely think this was purposeful. But I wonder, like, is it related to her magic or something? Like, can she like heal herself, or does she get like free lives, or like how does that work? Because she totally should have just died. But back at the Demon Village, it is Percival and Don Chilamonte happy to talk to each other. Nanson's is going to take the Ceranos antlers or horns, whatever you want to call them. I'm assuming he's going to make some kind of like broken medicine with it. It's definitely going to be relevant later on for sure. So I am very curious to see what Nanson's going to come up with that, or even maybe a potential new ability off of it for making a medicine from it. And then we also get Annie asking Gowther what happened to Ard. To which Gowther does tell her, but she is able to detect the little bit of like lie or not full truth that Gowther was explaining to her. Like because obviously Gowther didn't want to leave out the part of Ard dying, and this kind of does like show a testament to how strong or how good her ability is to detect lies or falsehoods. 'Cause I feel like Gowther would be one of the more difficult people to read in Seven Deadly Sins in general, seeing as just how he is. But she was able to even detect that he was slightly lying, and it wasn't even a direct lie. It was just a slight mistruth. So her ability is actually like really, really good. To which she does essentially be able to figure out that he did die in the process, so she's really sad. It's kind of like the sad last panel of her crying about Ard's death, and the chapter ends. And from here, this is, like I said, a great chapter in terms of like pushing plot along really well. But I'm just really interested to see what is going to happen next, because it's one of those things where they have Gowther here now. So it's like Gowther can explain, like I'm assuming he only explained what just happened, but he could explain so much more and shed so much more light on what's happening in the world, what happened in the past to make Arthur like this. Like there's so much more world building that can be handled now that Gowther is here in the story. So that's kind of what I would like to see, and where I think everything is going to go next chapter, for sure. So are the other big points in the chapter. I did think it was funny that like that Donnie thought Gowther was cute, even though Gowther isn't anything. Gowther is just it. So that was kind of funny. I wonder if they're gonna delve more into that. Sin basically being confirmed not to be Bond. It's like 99.9% not Bond at this point. So because Bond wouldn't have cared about the whole age thing. Bond's way too old. So that being confirmed is interesting. Definitely pointing to the Lancelot theory or the random character theory. I definitely want to know what you guys think about that one down below. What do you guys think about this new group? Like I said before, I like their designs. Like they look, I don't know, all of the like designs in Seven Deadly Sins, or I guess not in Seven Deadly Sins, but all of like the more knightly designs are always pretty cool to me, like with like the armor and how all of the helmets look. But like I said, I am curious to know what you guys think about all that down below. Make sure you guys like the video as well, subscribe to the channel for more content. I'm thinking about doing a Gowther video next, like just explaining Gowther, since he is prevalent in the series again. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe that'll be coming a little bit later on this week, maybe like Friday or something, who knows. But aside from that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next video.